Okay, welcome back to DHAM DIY. It is March 28th, 2020, and our trees have finally came in. Woo! We got them from Rain Tree Nursery, and you know, they're pretty well known in the gardening community. A lot of information about them coming out of Washington, which pretty far away for, you know, us being in Texas, but hey, that's okay. We think what they're going to give us is going to work pretty well, and it just felt like a safe bet, you know. One thing we did know when we get our shipment, though, the pawpaws were extremely tiny. I mean, I don't remember, I don't know if it, I can't remember if it was like 3 or 4 foot tree or something. Let me look. Yeah, I don't know, but anyway, so that's the pawpaw. We're looking at just my forearm, you know, that's all we got for a pawpaw. That's kind of, I don't know if that's what we paid for. Paid like $20-$30 compared to yeah, this is our baby Crawford peach, and this is probably in girth the size of my forearm, you know, and they were relatively the same price, what, $20-$30. Maybe pawpaws are harder to grow, I don't know, you know, they are a tropical type deal, but yeah, you know, it just felt a little weird. Anyway, we're gonna get these out of the heat because they really shouldn't be in the heat. We're gonna put them behind the shed where it's nice and cool and shady, and then we're gonna go ahead and get digging on 23 of these holes for these 23 trees. Really hot today, about, you know, 85 degrees, and that's being modest. Feels like 95, you know, real hot day today. Kind of a heat wave came out of nowhere. Believe it or not, we're still not out of the frost. We're still not out of the frost warning or whatever for the area. Well, actually, March 28th is about when.
2 more days.
Oh, is it not the 28th?
Today's the 26th.
Oh, I thought it was the 28th. Anyway, all right. Well, yeah, we're gonna go and get digging, and then we'll put these in the soil.
Let's get digging.
Okay, so we just dug the holes, and you know, it was really a rough estimate on the holes. We just kind of chopped up some dirt and then threw the trees in the hole. Now, it's not 23 trees, it's actually 18. Turns out 5 were gonna be from seed, so, you know, one of those things. I actually forgot my, I had like a plan where all the trees were gonna go, and I forgot it at home. I remembered where the important ones were going, but, you know, a lot of the peaches and nectarines and apples, I just can't remember. So, but hey, maybe that's, you know, everything happens for a reason, right? Maybe that was a stupid design, and I'm better off just winging it. So, you know, I kind of had an idea, like, I know I want the combination, you know, the 5 different graft apple trees over on the side, and the pawpaws over there because they get real big, and the mulberry in that very corner. And I know I wanted the cherries here because the cherries look pretty when they're blooming, right? You know, different things like that. Pomegranate and fig over there. Yada. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you with this one how we're gonna be doing this. I actually am going to get the shears too, just in case we need them. I might cut off certain ends, things that are broken, yada yada yada. So, all right. So here we have our Lapins cherry on a Gisela 5 rootstock. We got our hole dug, and what's interesting to note is just how soft the soil became after having all of that mulch on it for almost a year now, maybe over 6 months for sure. We have the roots, and you can see here where it was grafted. So this would be the rootstock, and this would be from then on where you know, that would be where the Lapins cherry, I'm sorry, got grafted on. We don't want to bury this because that will encourage rot, and this will eventually die. And also, I'm hesitant to put any organic material like I have been doing with all the others under there, because then that organic matter is going to decompose, the tree is going to sink, and then we're going to be left with a problem. So I want really something solid to put it on, and you know, I've heard to kind of spread them out, you know, like some hands, just fan out the roots and spread them around. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to get this a little clean, kind of get all the junk out of here, and upon battling all of our fungus gnats, I'm a lot more cautious now of rot and stuff and how that can affect plants. It kind of encourages things going on. So probably properly decomposed stuff was going to be, organic material is going to be best for the trees. at least in the ground. So I don't want to mix all the leaves and mulch in and stuff too much, or intentionally at least. Yeah, you know, with like a tomato or potato, you know, who cares? But with something that's going to be this old and was really this expensive, you know, I want to stray away from that. Because after all, once these are established, then I can dig a hole and put a bunch of organic matter in it if I want, or, you know, I can do whatever I want once they're established. I just don't want to risk them while they're in this very important stage of life. Right? So let's go ahead and clean it out here, and let's just see how much slack that gives us, huh? So that would already be pretty much in the ground. We have a little bit too much going on there. I'm gonna put some more dirt in the bottom. And I've even heard to make, you know, a bit of a bowl type situation. That way the spread the roots around that. Let's see how we did there. Yeah, still a little, cutting it a little bit too close. Let's get a little bit more of this here. I think that'll be just fine. Let's see. Yeah, so well, let's go a little bit. I just really don't want to, you know, these are going to be here for 10, 15 years. It's best to do it right first time. Hopefully they're here that long. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, so I think that's really solid right there. And we're going to bury it up a little bit too, you know, because this is going to take up quite the amount of room. And I'm going to twist the roots around. I think I've heard of like people trimming the roots and stuff, but I don't agree with that, man. I don't think that's the best idea. Of course, you know, I've been proved wrong before, but pack all that down. We want it really, really nice and secure in there because these winds, these March winds, are pretty nuts. Wait a minute, March is almost over. It's about to be April showers.
Great.
Yeah, even better. I like April showers. So, you know, I'm just gonna really pack it on in there because I don't want this to settle and sink down. That's just, that won't be good. That won't be good for anyone, especially not us. You know? And yeah, we are getting some organic matter in there. See, there's some nutrients going on. We don't have to worry about the soil retaining moisture because it's just so nice, you know, the soil. Look, I mean, we've never watered. Well, actually, false. We drained the pond once and put a bunch of water in there.
That was September.
Right.
November.
It was a long time ago. So this is just kind of always wet now because of this mulch. It's not soaked and it's not like drenched, you know, it's just a really nice moisture level. And I'm sure once more living things are in here, they're gonna soak up that moisture and get it even, you know, to an even nicer state. Because it is a little bit more on the wet side, but anyway, that's me just rambling. And although we're not going to be trimming the roots, it probably will be a good idea to trim this up, maybe cut it down that, so there's less buds essentially. You know, the tree's got less to worry about because we don't want it to worry about much when it's growing and in its, you know, final stages of yada yada. But yeah, I don't think this tree's going to have any problem getting through the soil. It's really nice. It is a lot of clay, but it is a really fine silty sand in there too. You know, that just makes it a dream, pleasant to work with, all in all. And over the years, you know, the more mulch we put on it, the better and better the soil's going to get. Get as much of that clay back in there as we can. Didn't last long, did it? And we're gonna fill all that back in there. Get all that clay back over to it. Okay, so pretty solidly planted tree. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and, where's the burners? Let's turn it back. What do you think, Lindsay? Where do you think we should take it to? Take it right here? Oh, actually, we want it to grow outward, okay? Okay, so wherever I prune, the closest bud to that is the one that's probably going to be getting all the energy going towards it. Similar to, you know, a sprinkler system, right? You'd think like the one on the end is where all the water stops and then gets forced out of. I don't know, that's, you know, that's kind of the way I'm thinking of it. I'm going to cut it right. Well, yeah, I think I'm going to cut it right here, and then the energy is going to be going this way and that way, and this is the corner. This is the corner one, so I think that's a good idea there. I'm going to cut it right here, and we want to go nice and gentle. We don't want to get too wild with it. And tell you what, how about we try to turn this into a whole new plant?
Okay.
Let's do it. So I'm going to cut it to where it's in a bit of a jagged, you know, edge angle type situation. I want as much exposed stem in the ground as possible, because that's going to give us the highest likelihood of it producing a, what do you call it? Some roots. Trim all that wood away right there. Because why not, right? I mean, let's have some fun.
Let's not waste anything, you know?
Yeah. Okay, there we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to knock some of these buds off. Left one bud at the top. And let's just stick this in the ground next to it and then see what happens. We can always dig it up later, right, and put it somewhere else. Here goes nothing. All right.
Got
Okay.
2 little cherry
So,
trees.
yeah, that's how we planted this Lappin's cherry on the Gisela 5 rootstock. That's how we made a separate plant, potentially. We'll keep you updated with that. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and put all the rest of them in, and then we will we'll show you the final result. Okay, so we have all of them in the ground now. It didn't take that long. I'd say maybe an hour or two. We were rushing a little bit. I am worried over here. There was a little bit of moisture in the bottoms of the hole. I don't know if it's a pond issue, or I think it's just, you know, the further down you go that way, we're starting to see some issues. But luckily, you know, with the use of certain techniques like a drainage ditch and stuff, I think I can fix that or alleviate that. So yeah, you know, pretty good. Everything went really well, really. I probably planted one over here, the Indian Free Peach, maybe a little bit too low into the ground, but and funny enough, actually, that was my favorite one. That was one I was most excited about. Maybe I jumped the gun, who knows? But yeah, so things are going really well. We have a bunch of tomatoes planted over there. Those 5 flags where nothing is planted, that's where, you know, we're going to be planting seeded fruit trees. Super excited for that. That's going to be something, obviously, a long-term investment. These more short-term, right? And yeah, you know, I can hear you now. You know, they're too close together. They're never gonna go. You know, a couple are gonna die. That's usually the way things work, right? Unless I'm extremely good at my job, which, you know, first time doing it. Well, actually, false. We already planted some fruit trees. Second time doing it. I'm expecting some to die. I'm expecting some to not produce well. Cherries probably I may not get any crops, you know, for 3 years, and I'll be like, oh, I don't want those anymore. You know how it goes. So I'm going to give you a tour of all of the trees currently in the ground, and then I'm going to do a little pruning seminar with you. Actually, you know what? We'll do a pruning seminar and a little walkthrough at the same time. Okay, so you saw this in the demonstration on how to plant them. This is the Lappin's cherry with a Gisela 5 rootstock. We also pruned it and stuck something in the ground over there just to see if it'd grow. Now we're going to go over here to the next one. Now all of this is along the border. This is going to be the south-facing side, so we're wanting the smaller trees to be over on this side. I'm sorry. Yeah, south-facing side. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm getting myself confused. All right, black gold cherry on a Gisela 5 rootstock. Probably it might be just a Gisela rootstock. Not too sure. We're going to trim this one as well, and I want it to go outwards. We're going to trim it right about here. Should be fine and dandy. Nice and slow like. And yeah, that, you know, it's going to give the roots an easier time, right? Not having to keep up with such a massive stem. And they kind of recommend this, I think, too, from what I remember seeing. They don't recommend trying to make a new tree, though, because they don't make money off of that. But that's what we're gonna do. Who knows, you know, they might grow. I don't know. I'll give it to a friend even. Or we actually have a community park. We actually have a community park over at the lake, and I'd like to grow some trees over there too. That'd be pretty cool, you know, for all the neighbors to enjoy. And that'll keep them out of my garden. All right, so yeah, just a little trim. Then we're gonna knock off all these buds right here. Boom, boom, boom. Leave like 1 or 2 going on. And we're gonna stick it in the ground. Woo! Cool. On to the next. So this one is, I don't know why they did this. It's just silly. This is the Speckled Egg Nectarine. Really thick gig there. And it's going to be on a Lavelle rootstock, I'm pretty sure. Now, the problem is this, I actually want this on here for now, so I'm not going to trim that off, but I do want to trim this piece off. Oh man, that's tough. See, oh, okay, I'll just remove it. So, I want this to stay somewhere on there where it's not going to go anywhere, but...
Do that bottom, little cut off piece, very bottom.
You said what?
Very bottom cut off piece.
Oh, I will.
No, I'm saying put it there.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, put it over there.
No, because I don't want it to blow off. I might see what you're saying, I might not, but it's okay.
You don't see what I'm saying.
Okay, but that's alright. That works. So then I'm going to trim all this excess off. I don't want low-lying branches like that anyway. Those are completely unnecessary to me. And like I said, you know, just less work the tree has to do in the end. Because this tree will have to work very hard. We're bringing it into, like, what, 3 or 4 different zones lower, you know? I mean, this is going to be tough. He may not make it, you know? We're hoping that he does, of course, but, you know, it is what it is, so. And yeah, we're going to try to do the same thing to those. I'm just leaving them on the ground for right now. Let's see. I'm kind of working it out in my head. This is already dead. Might as well just get it off there. I think that we'll trim them up, get them a little smaller, because those are just way too long. It's way too long. That's good. Oh, so
there's 2 centers.
what do they say? What do they say? You want to? There is 2 centers. You're right. We don't want that. Get that one out of there. And then let's do this one. Probably won't be necessary.
That little small one, teeny tiny one.
I think that's good. I think that's a solid little.
Or the teeny tiny dead one right there.
This one?
No, teeny tiny one in the middle. Teeny tiny.
This one?
Super small.
This one?
Yeah.
I think that's good. That's a real solid gig going on there. Now what we're gonna do, same thing we've been doing. This though is way too long. Let's cut that right there. Let's put a, and you know, this is really just gonna be an interesting experiment to see what takes, how easily these things take. All right, I'm trying to get like the best angle possible. A knife would probably be better, but you know how I am. If you frequent here, you know what I'm all about. Hey, check it out, by the way. Onion. I didn't get the bulb, but we've got wild onions growing all up in the orchard, which is usually an indication that there's too much water. Nonetheless, we never learn. I mean, you know, you kind of just get what you get, right? We're not going to not grow fruit trees here because nature's saying it wouldn't be a good idea. We're going to fight nature to the death. And then end up getting really upset and wishing we'd never done that in the first place. Alright, cool. Pop another one in the ground. Let's do one more. This is a real thick one. We're going to sink this literally like all the way into the ground, like super deep. Just for funsies. And I'm gonna notch the bark all the way down. So we're gonna put like a little notch there, a little notch. Just cause I don't know what's gonna happen. But if this is the one that ends up growing, then we'll know that that's the way to do it from now on. Just cutting the bark, really, just kind of getting wild with it. And then we're gonna do our signature little, you know, gig there. Boom. Still wet to the touch. This one we're gonna put right over here because this is kind of big. I don't really want to get it too close. Watch that. You see that? See how far it's going in the ground? Okay, that's that's like two or three feet in the ground. Okay, so that one's good. We're going on to the next. This is the Indian free peach, the one I was talking about earlier. Just trim up all that nonsense. This one, craziness. Right, we don't want that on there. Get that off. A little bit of rippage, no problem. I don't want that one on there either. That's a little bit too much going on there. See if I can get it off. And I'll just toss it on one that I want to keep. We do already have flowers growing on this one. I'm gonna pop that off. No problems there. Do it this way. Let's go boom, boom. And then we don't want any growing into each other. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. That one we don't want going on there. And then, you know, we'll come back in a little bit and get it again, but I think overall that's a pretty good gig. I kind of put myself in the center and I'll look around and see what's happening. We have a little bit too much going on over here. We have probably 4 branches, so we'll cut this bottom one. Look at it again. I think that's good. I think that's solid. You know, a couple branches over here and there. And this one's a little too long. It's a little too spindly. We'll cut it down here actually. That's pretty good. This one's a little too long as well. And then the signature. And you're really getting the idea, I think, of pruning, everybody. This is easy. You know, there's always that, like, sit on YouTube all day long and look at information. Get out there and do it, you know. Just get out there and do it. It's easy. Don't be afraid. Even if you mess it up, trees are very forgiving. You know, they're going to forgive you. You're not going to ruin the whole tree. You can just literally cut it way down at the, you know, at the end, and then actually I don't want to do the whole. Sorry, I was talking and working. Cool. So we got a little one right here, little buddy. We're gonna stick him in the ground. See what happens. This one as well, I'm kind of excited for. This is the Indian free peach, no rootstock, just straight up Indian free peach in the ground. But yeah, you know, you get the idea. This is going to be the last one I'm going to prune on camera. I'll show you the end result, but yeah, no, I think this is good right here. Boom. So we got one over there. Let's pop another one right there. And then this one, check this out. I'm going to leave these on, and I'm just going to stick it in the ground, the whole thing, not touching it. And I have this on camera. I'm not going to forget, you know. Put it in there like that and kind of just give it a good stomping. All right, so that's the Indian free peach. Let's continue. Now these are the really fun ones, right?
No, you said that was the last one you were going to prune on camera.
That's the last one I'm going to prune on camera. I'm just walking with my shears. I'm showing all the trees we got. Okay, so we got a lot going on here. This is a combination apple. We have, I think, 4 or 5 different varieties on here. So Liberty apple, Ashmead kernel apple, Day 2 apple, 4x1 resilient. 4-in-1, you know, resilient apple. Pristine apple. So we got resilient apple, pristine apple, Ashmead apple, Liberty apple, and Belmac apple, which is, I think, more than, you know, it's like 5 varieties or 4 or whatever. A lot of different varieties on here. You know, it's kind of confusing. We just started buying. We went on a buy spree with the trees. All right, let's see here. Avalon Pride peach on a St. Judas, maybe St. Judas rootstock. You know, just decent peach, nothing too crazy there. Oh, I'm gonna go with this one. All right, now this was the thickest one, the baby Crawford peach. This might have been a dwarf. I can't remember. We're gonna have to prune the absolute mess out of this one. I mean, this is crazy. I'm gonna trim this up, see if you can. Trim that up and see if you can see just how much is going on here. This one might, you know, we might get some, no, I shouldn't let it try to get peaches. That would be silly. stop myself right there. But yeah, you know, this one is absolutely massive. I don't know why it's so big. Maybe no one was buying it and it just got too big at the nursery, but overall pretty cool. If I was gonna graft any onto any, it would be this one. I'd graft a whole bunch on this, which is honestly what I probably should have did with the free peach and the yada yada. But you can always just go and get branches later. No big deal, right? I'm gonna leave that there. Taking too long. I don't have a knife on me right now. All right, now the frost peach on the St. Julian A rootstock or whatever. So yeah, just, you know, nothing too special. Here we go. We got a fun one. You know, the apples and the peaches kind of get old. Brown turkey fig, really small, but
we're leaves. He's trying.
Yeah, brown turkey fig. We could have just stole like a neighbor's branch, or, you know, I have relatives who have figs, but you're never 100% certain on the variety. You know, what type is this? Oh, I don't know. I like it, you know, knowing what type it is, and I'll pay extra money for that. You know, we can grow a different type. Oh, by the way,
potatoes. Potato alert!
We planted a lot of potatoes and strawberries here. If y'all remember, I think like 3 or 4 of the, or maybe probably like 3 of the strawberries are kind of surviving,
Out of
and
the
then
10.
and then yeah, and then potatoes are popping up every here and there. So that's cool. You know, that's real cool. All right. This little guy is going to be our pomegranate. And I don't know why. Oh, here it is.
Parfianca.
Yeah, so it's a Parfianca pomegranate. No rootstock, nothing like that. At least I don't think.
No, the ones in pots never.
Yeah, true. So this was a potted plant. We're going to trim it up too, but, you know, I have pretty good confidence this is just going to do well no matter what we do to it, right? Pomegranates grow really well here. So yeah, that's Parfianca pomegranate. Parfianca. All right, Bella de Guigno pear. I believe it's French. It's supposedly very acclaimed, right? Very good taste. You know, we thought we'd get a little fancy. We put it closer to the house. You know, figured why not, right? It'd be cool. So that is the that's the Bella de Guigno pear. And here we have the white Doyen pear on OH rootstock. No, I can't remember. I can't remember the rootstocks. Okay. Don't hate me.
Come on, Dylan. You're
I
supposed
know.
to remember that.
And this is going to be. Dude, this is Almada apple. Yes, I think this might be a full-size tree. I don't even think that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't even think this. It's semi-dwarf for sure, but I remember this one being big. So yeah, you know, I think I put a dwarf right there to where, you know, it'll kind of balance itself out or whatever. But you know, Almada apple. It looked like a really nice apple overall.
It had the red flesh on the inside.
Yeah. You're right. It had the that's what it was. It had the red flesh.
We have no idea how
trait
sweet
to
it is or anything, but it just looked really cool.
Yeah, and we'll be able to, you know, do hybrids and have fun with the red fruit.
I'm excited to play around with the apples.
Right. Yeah. You know, they have the most varieties out of any other fruit tree. I know for sure. I don't know about plant, but fruit tree definitely. So that's cool. You know, they last an extremely long amount of time.
Little oak trees.
If you graft them, you can just leave them somewhere in the cold, you know. Anyway, Saucy King White Nectarine. This might have been the flying saucer one, where it's like a saucer. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like a flat.
Saucer peaches.
Yeah, the saucer peaches. Oh, maybe this isn't that one, but
Oh, what is
yeah,
it?
Saucy King. It's a Saucy King White Nectarine. It's a nectarine that it's white. Yeah, the real sweet ones that don't have the sourness. Really cool. So here's another apple combination. Now, one of these was, this is the cider apple. Okay, so these are cider apples, and they're not going to be as sweet, but they will have that tangy zing. You wouldn't really probably want to eat them on their own, but you could definitely make different pies or desserts out of them.
Pies and baking and making
Yeah, like some
drinks
cinnamon
out of.
apples, and, you know, just fun, right?
Make some wassail, the Christmas cinnamon apple drink.
Exactly. Wassail. And yeah, you know, juicing, get some really sour juice. Just cool genetic diversity too, for playing around with the apples, making our own apple variety or whatever. You know, always good to have a bunch of different and maybe, you know, we start adding more and more and have, you know, 1,000 different grafts here or something. That'd be really cool. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna read all what we have so far. So we got a Hughes crab apple. Gotta love crab apples, huh? And then we got a Medal Dior apple. We got a Grunwrinkle apple. We got a Harrison apple. And then we have a Kingston black apple. Also important to note, when you're trimming down the grafted apples, don't trim off the graft. So this would be a graft right here, starting from the base stem going out. Like this would be a graft, this would be a graft, this would be a graft. So don't, if you trim that off and there's no bud, you won't have that graft anymore. So just be really careful when you're doing that. All right, so that's that whole side. This is the kind of like the border of into the bigger trees. This is where we're going to be doing the seeded, and the seeded, it's going to be 2 or 3 years before they get as big as all these over here. So this is where we're going to put some pumpkins and watermelons, just kind of plant it out, have a lot of fun with that space while we have it, because 5 or 6 years, 5 or 6 seasons, I should say. That makes it sound a lot shorter, like the growing season. We have 5 growing seasons here before this becomes unusable space or whatever. And really, all this too. I mean, we're gonna do what we can with it right now. But anyway. Oh, and we have tomatoes planted here. I almost stepped on them. I always keep forgetting about them. I put 3 tomatoes by each flag, so that's a total of 15 tomatoes in this area. All right, now here we have the mulberry. I believe it's I can't remember. Silkhope mulberry. Now, mulberry's gonna have no problem growing here. We could have just got any mulberry from the side of the road, but I wanted, like I said,
the Silkhope ones because they have the silkworms that turn into silk moths.
Yeah,
There's
true.
Really pretty silk moths.
I think all mulberries have silkworms. This might be a special one that has like sugary leaves or something. Maybe they like this one more. I don't know. But even with farm animals, they all love mulberries. Rabbits, I'm sure, and I think it helps with deworming too. Don't quote me on that. Cool thing to have. If we get some goats in here, they can. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. We could have them graze on it, all that good stuff.
And here is one that I'm most excited for.
Yeah. Now here are the
But
pawpaws.
they're so small.
They are very small, and the roots were pretty incredible on the other one. This one is going to be the Mitchell pawpaw. Now the Mitchell pawpaw's roots weren't looking so good. Right, he's about a foot tall. We're not going to prune him. We're going to leave him where he's at.
He needs a fighting chance.
Right. Not much to say about the Mitchell pawpaw. We're excited though. Some ice cream consistency fruits. Never had it.
Never seen one in real life.
Never seen one in real life.
Heard a lot of good things about it though.
We hope they grow here is all.
Really
now let's go ahead and check last but not least the sunflower pawpaw. I'm going to leave him alone too. Not going to prune him, but his root ball was something to be. It was duly noted. He had a pretty incredible root ball.
Also very small.
Big things come in small packages, maybe. We're gonna leave it off at that. Thanks for watching us plant all these. This is a long time coming. You saw us putting this, you saw this when it was a field pretty much, right? Putting in all that mulch, putting in all those leaves.
It was worth it.
Right, this is a pretty incredible time for the garden and the property, the homestead. This is adding a lot of value to it, and really special. We had a great day to do it. It was really hot out when we came here, and we got this overcast. Birds are chirping. It's a good day. Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next time.